Hi, this is Steven from Legit Tech Tutorials, and welcome back to WaterJet product development series. So we need to get this guy done probably any day now, Thursday, Friday, something like that. We'll get this hosing in, so we need to be ready for that scenario when it comes. So we need to get this, oops, wrong one. So we need to get this completed before that happens, so that we could send this out and get quotes and figure out where we're gonna go, because we do have a couple options. So I remember yesterday we had an issue with this cross here not being correct on the inside. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. So this is not correct. So what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to go back to some of these areas and then we're gonna have to show the sketch. Oops, not that sketch, this sketch. We have to drill a hole, and this has to be a 1/4 inch hole, and this is not, this is 30 degrees. I don't know why this hole is so big. That hole does not need to be that big. This hole is what, 20 thou? Yeah, sure, 20 thou, whatever. As long as this hole works here. So let's take a look and see if we can get that to work. So let's go ahead and drill a hole here this way, and then this is going to be 0.25, and then the angle is going to be 30-30, I think. Or is it 60? Oh, that's 120 technically. Is that 120? Or is it 60? Well, technically, I think it's 60. I'm going to say distance 2. Like so. Obviously that needs to be deeper. We'll think about how we're going to do that further. And then we're going to drill another one here on sketch number 3. Quarter inch, 60 degrees, to object, this object, okay. We're going to go forward. Okay, that's good, that's good. Okay, then we're going to look at this one. We're going to drill another hole. And we're going to do 1/4 inch to object. This object, okay. To object, and delete the chamfer. Alright, so now let's see how well she seats. Okay, so now let's look at, let's update this. Let's take a look at this section now. the seat. So yeah, this thing only needs to be as big as this inner diameter is on this guy, which is, I'd say 90 something. So let's do that. So this hole, let's turn on the analysis. 90. And again, this is just going to be something that I'm going to ask the machine shop on what they want to do, because again, this really depends on the depth, right? So the idea is that this is a very shallow depth right here. So let's see, and that is the length to depth ratio, basically, or L divided by D. So the diameter is 90, the depth that we're drilling is 0.523 divided by 9.090 is equal to 5. So something like 15, 10 to 15, 15 gets really scary. So, and also whether or not you can get drill bits like that. But as you can see, you could just go in there and drill it really quick. And now you can see we have a really, really nice taper now. So, so that should be really nice. So again, we can bump this up. There's nothing really saying that we have to do this size, but yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and turn that off. Again, there's going to be some really, really sharp areas here, right? So very sharp contours. So maybe ball nose go in here, maybe create like a dome or something. Probably it's going to have to be sharp. We are going to lose some pressure around these corners in here, but that's just going to be how it is. Now unless they go in here with a tiny little back deburring tool and hit this edge and hit this edge, and deburr around this edge, kind of add a little chamfer on the inside. So yeah. Alright, so there we go. You can see here that it's starting to already, you know, yeah. Anyways, so yeah, it looks good. Here you can see this other hole, and then here you can see how it's got a square circle here. And then obviously when you punch through, you're going to have deburr on this backside. And so then we'll have to run the drill bit in the other direction back in through this way and make sure there's no burrs in there. So hopefully the machine shop will know that and be able to do that. So that looks really, really nice. I like that. So that looks good. So let's go ahead and turn that back off. Then we're going to do another 9/16. 9/16 fitting the collar assembly. Okay. And I'm going to go down on the bottom. And then what I'm going to do in the meantime is create a section analysis, a second section analysis. Go off of here. Oops. Oops. So you can see that we're pivoting around the center, not around the outside. So that makes things a little more difficult. You see, because it thinks that we're zoomed out really far, when in actuality we're pretty close to what we want to do. That should be, no, well, you should see a hole there. Oops. Alright, I think we are pretty much there. Cool. So there is a second section. Put my cat down. Okay, so now we have fitting number 1 in here. Jeez. Perfect. Boom. Okay. Then we're going to drop fitting number 2. Oops, wrong one. This one here, fitting with collar assembly. Okay. What are you doing? Tiger. Tiger's chewing on something that I probably do not want her to be chewing on. Okay. So let's go down here. So even if we do change a little bit, we want to have a very good idea of what we're going to show the machine shop. And there it is. Obviously we're not showing the machine shop this, we're not showing the machine shop what we're building. We're yeah, so I'm wondering if I could back dipper this somehow. And obviously if we could do some sort of Y, I mean that would be the best. Some sort of Y with a kind of V section, but then that's going to be difficult with the pressure gauge. I think this is really the best way of doing it. I mean, these are shooting towards each other, and I mean they're equal distance, and they're going to go up through this hose and go out through the orifice, so I think this should be okay. And this is what we talked about at the other supplier, so we should be okay. Alright, so that looks good. And then we have another 9/16 on the bottom, but I'm not exactly sure what we're gonna do there yet. And it looks like we have some of these threads are not modeled. Tiger. You sure know my shoelaces? Beautiful looking threads. I like this. They've done quite a bit of updates, I think, on Fusion with the rendering. Looks really good. Okay, so all right. There we go. Okay, so now okay, so apparently here it's saying 5 inches plus 5 inches from port to port. I'm going to assume that is correct. I'm probably going to make this hosing myself. Basically the same deal. I'm just going to use a pipe bender and just bend it and hope it doesn't collapse in on itself. And then use the same, we'll use the M14 fittings. So with the quarter over here and then the M14 and a quarter over here, M14. Speaking of which, I don't know if I have an M14 collar. I do not have an M14 collar, so I need to do that. So yeah, I just bend 2 pieces of tubing and put it in there, and then on the low pressure side, I'm just going to do 2 ferrules on the low pressure side that go in there and do what they need to do. And then I have a T, so I just have one hose coming out of the faucet or whatever going in, or out of a bucket going in, and then those two separate. One goes into one port, one goes in the other port. Okay, so 5 inches by 5 inches, let's say. And let's say it goes forward. What did I say it goes forward? Let's say an inch. Okay, so from here, 5 inches this way, and 5 inches this way, and 1 inch back, and 1 inch back. We have our ports. Pump side mock-up. Over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Back 1. Up a little bit. Right there. Just like so. Five. Back 1. Rotate forward. And let's go ahead and look at section analysis. What? Oh, I'm doing the wrong one. So crap. That's what. My bad. It's supposed to be in here. There we go. Let's say something's missing here. And I was like, why is it creating it right on top? It should be creating it somewhere at the somewhere at the top there. Oops. And about 1 inch back. Again, this is going to be my own machine part. I'm going to turn the threads onto it, and then and then after I turn the threads onto it, then I'm going to bend it, and then basically what I get is what I get. keep these ends as straight as possible and get the bends as close as possible, and hope for the best. Pretty much. Yeah. I'll probably have to go through a couple trials and then do the, because obviously I have to thread it before I turn, I could just put, the thread is not crazy important, so I could just turn it with a die, right? But obviously I need to do the 60 degree on a lathe, so get the 60 degree nice, so I get a nice seat as well. So I need to make sure that I do that. Okay, so oops. Wow, that worked pretty good. 90. Oh, make sure. Oh, I should make sure that that was facing the right way, and it is not. Well, let's just rotate it a quick 180. There we go. Over 10 inches. Bam, bam. Okay, now when I do this, it should do something sort of in the middle. Okay, it's very, very close. It's very, very close. That's fine with me. Okay, so now we need to do the M14 collars. Actually, no, M14 collars are the same collars as the. They're quite a bit bigger on the quite a bit bigger on the inside. Never mind, it looks okay. So that should work. Okay. So, but do I have an M14 with... No, I do not have M14 with collar or the hose mockup. So let's do M14 fitting with collar. Okay. So that goes there. And then this is M9 by 16 and the obviously the M14 color. Really, I could probably make these parts. It's just these I'm going to have an issue with. So I probably make these collars, no problem. So I'll probably make these. You know, these are just lathe parts, and then put it on the lathe and put the tap in. Obviously, tap needs to be perfectly straight with tap guide. Not too worried about making these. So I'll make those, but these, as far as the bore, this bore is not really that big of an issue. This other bore is not really that big of an issue. But obviously it needs to be something that's, got a 3D sort of, well, that's got a movement with an end mill, and I no longer have access to CNC machines really, so that's going to be rather difficult. So, and then obviously this one is another one where you can't really do that. You can do it on a lathe very difficultly, do it on a mill, and then off center for jaw. You could do it, but we'll see. We will see. Hose muck up. Flipper. Bam. Okay, there it is. Save. M14. And we're gonna go there. Wait a second. Shoot, these were facing the right way before. Dang it. Well, what I can do is I can do this. Wait a second. Oh, but this is facing the wrong way. This sketch, so I need to go over 1 inch and then back 1 inch. Okay, let's move this closer. So here's the M14. Oh. Oh, and yeah. Cool. Okay, so there you go. Oh, this is also just modeled for whatever reason, so we need to have that actually cut. It does look like everything looks good here. Yeah, looks really good. Okay, so I like how everything fits there. And then over here, what? Oh. Close enough. Okay, so this guy also looks good. So obviously this is mix matched, but that is okay. So I think we are looking good for sending these out for quoting. So again, components I'm gonna make this tubing for this guy. Make the tubing here. Probably make the collars, and then they're gonna make what the heck? Oh, they're gonna make this piece and these other pieces here, just a couple pieces. So, and then also I'm gonna have them make a plug, which is basically gonna be one of these fittings with a hose section in it. Or what I'll have them do is make this hose. We'll make that next time. But basically all it is it's just going to be this guy with no plug at the end of it. I mean, I could make this. I can make this, and then it has a collar, right? Really, because honestly, what I could do is, but on stainless, it's hard to just dwell a end mill into here and not mess up the material. Maybe if I had power feed, then I could do that and just have it go in and come out, and then I could actually do pretty much most of this by myself, except for this is obviously going to be difficult, but I could just go whoop, whoop, and then just like that, and then this be square, and then you'll be able to fit a wrench on it. But we'll see. I'll get it quoted and see what's going on. I'll tell them straight up, like, hey, I'm thinking about either doing this myself or having you guys do it. So basically the blank off for this output 4-way is to put this guy on there, and then is basically have this not have a hole in it, pretty much. So you put this thing in here, and it's got a plug in here that threads into this collar, let's say, and then it shoves it in there and blanks off the hole. Now, the reason why I wouldn't want to make something else is that you could use this for something else, the 9/16. So that's pretty much what the blank off is, if you could imagine. For the pressure, what I'm talking about is the pressure relief here, which is, if I turn this off and I save this, it is this unused port down here on the bottom, which is for a pressure gauge, right? So basically, we're going to use that pressure gauge. We need to blank off that pressure gauge hole. Sorry, this hole, this piece on the top, is not being used because it's for the pressure gauge, and for that hole, we're going to plug it up with the what's the word I'm looking for? We are going to plug it up with the blank off so that we can basically seal that hole. And again, the blank off is the 9/16, but instead of a hose in the collar, we just have a tube with the 60 that's threaded. Sorry, not a tube, solid piece that just plugs that hole. With, again, mechanical to mechanical bond, just pressing the thing in there. Alright, so that's it for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy. Peace.